Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Jesse Daley, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, welcome to Daily Planet, and if you've been here for a while, thank you for continuing to be here. So I just kind of want to talk to some of you. I started this channel such a long time ago with the intent of hopefully helping to inspire people to follow their dreams and their passions. And over the years, I've been watching other people's channels and been really inspired seeing how YouTube in general has really kind of expanded into real personal individual storytelling, like journals, like video journals, and like long form video journals. Of course, there's channels that are different than that too, but I feel like it's been really inspiring to watch people and learn from people about their journeys through their life. And I thought, well, it might be a cool time just to talk to some of you about what I'm up to, where I am, and also how I believe you can achieve goals even if you have very limited resources. So just long story short, I live in the U.S. Virgin Islands now, but I spent years working and living in California in the entertainment industry as an actor and on-camera personality. I still do some of that work, because a lot of the things changed in the entertainment industry world during and after COVID and the SAG-AFTRA strikes. So a lot of filming stuff kind of went outside of LA, even though things do happen still, of course, there. But it was during that time period when my partner and I were like, well, let's make a decision and try something different. So now we're down here in the U.S. Virgin Islands, and I work as a weather reporter. I went back to school online to obtain a certificate in weather forecasting from Penn State University. That was a passion I've always had, weather. But then I started thinking, during that whole journey, well, what is it about weather and presenting the weather that I really love? And honestly, it's just that connection, the connection with the camera, with the viewers, the audience, going back to, I guess, that, those roots of acting and just, entertainment in general. But more than that, I never really had any money to do any of this. And I'm like, how did any of this even happen? And I feel like right now things are really, I think, expensive, for a lot of people. And I wanted, just to share a message with those watching. Unless you have endless resources, that's awesome. Good for you. But if you don't, don't stop your dream or your journey, or don't think it's not possible. I think the only way I've achieved some of I guess what I believe to be as personal successes in life, I think the only way that I achieved things is just by taking one step and one goal and dream at a time, and not overwhelming myself to achieve a ton of things all at once. I genuinely believe, this is from someone who was living on the U.S. mainland, and of course in a place like a city. I lived in Hollywood, right? So it was really busy all the time and super fun, especially when I'm in my 20s. But it can get really overwhelming too, and you want to do everything and all at once, and you want to make everything happen. And I think if you're not careful, you can get scatterbrained because you want to make all your dreams happen all at once. That's a good thing, but it's, unless you have endless resources, again, it's kind of unrealistic because it makes it harder to achieve one thing at a time. And then you're kind of stuck with all these goals and dreams that maybe you're not even achieving any of them. So my message today is essentially, whatever it is that your goal is out there, my friends, take one goal at a time, and just every single day do something toward that goal. Even if it's just sending one email. Whoop, it's really windy right now. And by the way, my weather YouTube channel will tell you about the wind. We're going into hurricane season here, so you can follow that if you're interested in that. Hopefully we won't get a bad season. But anyway, take take one goal at a time. And even if it's sending one email out, making one phone call, making one connection with someone in a field that you're interested in, or signing up for like that one class, like do it, and maybe you have to go on a payment plan for school. That's okay too. Resources are, Tony Robbins always says it's more important to focus on your resourcefulness than your resources. It's a variation on those words. And I think that's a very important point, because coming from someone like myself who, a single parent household, who we didn't have a lot, but my mom and family have always done the best we could, and you just take one thing at a time and one step at a time, and you don't let obstacles hold you back, because really you end up holding yourself back at the end of the day. Like you create your own blocks, because you may start thinking about something and then immediately talk yourself out of it, because you might think I'm not good enough, or it's too expensive, or it's too difficult. A great book, by the way, to read and check out is called Excuses Be Gone by Dr. Wayne Dyer. One of my favorite books, and it helps you to focus on the fact that a lot of the things that hold us back are excuses that we come up with, and they're not based really in reality. We have the control and the power to shape our destiny. I think within reason. There's some things, of course, that are out of our control, but I think we have a lot of power over this moment, is what I'm saying. So to utilize this moment as productively and efficiently as possible is really smart, and it's always helped me get to like the next chapter in my life. And the other thing that I think is really important about just finding success, and whatever that means to you, it doesn't necessarily mean money, right? I mean, like, money is great, but I mean, it's really like, are you happy? Do you have freedom? Do you have that idea of like, you can be who you are and do what you want to do without being like chained to like a desk or a situation or even a place that you're not in love with, right? So, I think being yourself, your authentic self, that takes time sometimes to figure that out. I know it has for me. It's been like a personal journey throughout my whole life, so far. And I'm still relatively young, as I'm learning every day still about myself. So being yourself and taking one step at a time, even when you don't even have any resources, it will lead you to your goals and your dreams. And I think the other piece that is important to mention here is that you can't give up on yourself, because people will tell you that things are not going to work, or that things are not a smart idea, or it's too risky, or whatever it may be. And honestly, I've had that happen so much in my life, and it's from either family or friends who, out of concern, not in a bad way, they may just say things like, oh, I wouldn't do that because then it's going to be too much, too stressful, or whatever it may be. And usually I think the people who care about us aren't trying to hurt us or really dissuade us, from pursuing our passions. They're just looking out for us, and they don't want, they don't want you to suffer and go through challenging times and stress. But you have to be your own best friend and know that whatever you determine is right for you, go with that. Whether it's a relationship, a place that you're living, or you want to live a career that you want to pursue, it's your life, and I just genuinely believe that we can achieve whatever we put our minds to if, again, we don't give up and we take a step at a time, and we're just authentically who we are and being true to ourselves, because that's important too. You have to really be honest with yourself about what it is that you want and who it is that you are. You're perfect as you are, and we can all, I think, improve, just by growing and learning. But you are an individual and a unique, awesome person out there. And I really just think that this message is for anyone who might be doubting that or especially now there's so much crazy stuff going on in the world, and so many just things that I just wish I could help fix, just like in general. But what I can do and contribute on this in my little life, in this one person that I am, is just trying to make the world a little bit better every single day, in even a tiny way, even if it's like feeding an animal or like a little bird. I don't know, it's just, I think we can all make a positive impact, even, and you have the power to achieve so much in your life. Even if you're someone who doesn't have a lot of resources. The final thing I'll say about this, especially with the resources thing, I've seen so many videos like of people who are just so, it just honestly like breaks my heart. It's like people are in their cars. I see a lot of these videos of people in their cars just really upset because like things, they can't afford things, and and they just feel like they're working they're so hard and they just can't get ahead, and I know that feeling of like not feeling like you're ever going to get ahead or get to where you want to be. And I can tell you, as someone who has like been through those times, that you will come out of that on the other side and you'll be stronger, but you cannot give up, and you have to take one step at a time, one goal at a time, and every single day do something toward that goal, and just constantly remind yourself that you are good enough and you have what it takes, and that you're strong enough emotionally and physically to make whatever your dream life is your reality. And again, also just appreciating, balancing, the appreciation of what we have today with our goals for tomorrow. Because again, there are things that are within our control in this moment, but most things, like when you think about it, we're just floating around this, well, for me right now on an island, but in this planet, right? I mean, we're just floating around. So, and at any time, like, we can't control what's going to happen, and, so just do the best you can and know that you are enough. And I just kind of wanted to share that with you today. I didn't script this video, obviously. Maybe that's really obvious. But I thought I would just take a moment to talk with you, because it's always been a goal of mine to hopefully inspire anyone watching my videos to get out there and make the world like a better place. And what I mean by that is just being who you are and doing something constructive and positive. You don't have to change the world by becoming like some crazy huge movie star. I mean, that would be awesome. But also there's a lot of crazy things that come with that too. You can make a major difference in the world just by doing something really like simple, and it doesn't have to get even a lot of attention. Again, like helping an animal, or like helping someone who maybe just needs to, even just a friend who needs someone to talk to. Or someone who needs, you see someone who may be experiencing homelessness, for example, rather than judging that person, like, what can we do to help them? Maybe provide a little meal, or, So it's just little things like that these things are constantly going through my mind. Anyway, I mean, I am rambling, but I'm making this video because I've seen so many inspirational videos, especially by younger people who are like figuring this out. And I commend you, like, post those videos, post your stories, because it's so important. Like, the last thing I'll say as a millennial, okay, my mom taught me this. My mom was like, I mean, she's amazing, but she's like kind of crazy in a good way. Mom, I love you. But she was way ahead of her time. Like when she got out of, high school and then went into becoming a guidance counselor, and was like, screw this, I'm going into music. This is like back in the day, and like she like way ahead of her time as a young woman went into the music industry and like made things happen when no one really supported her in that. And she always, the reason I'm telling you this story is because she has always said retire when you're young and then like live, throughout life. Like don't wait till you're like 80 years old if you can even luckily make it to that age and then retire. Like live, do what you want to do, like in your 20s and 30s. Like, oh my gosh, like it's the best time in life. Like you're energized, and like I mean I'm still in my 30s and I love it. I don't want to get older. But live, do your dream now. Don't wait until like this like lie that I feel like we've been told, that you got to wait till you're old to then retire. And that's not being, I'm not saying to be like irresponsible, to be like, to take unnecessary risks. Don't do that. But I do think it's important to take risks for your dream. Like risks that are within reason, right? So you're safe. But like just live and enjoy and love, and don't let anything or anyone hold you back. You have what it takes, and I can tell you from personal experience, there's going to be days that are challenging and there's going to be days that are great. But throughout my little life so far, it's worked out one day at a time. And, I appreciate your all being here along the journey. Some of you I met on YouTube like years ago, and I just, I thought it was an obligation just to, even if like no one watches this, I thought it was an obligation just to share some of my story so far, because I want to see all of you succeed. And the way to make that happen, I just think, is just being authentically true to who you are and living one day at a time, doing the best you can and not giving up. So that's all the rambling for today. Geez, this is like 17 minutes. Sorry if I wasted any of your time, but I hope you got something from this video. If you did, I'd really appreciate it if you hit that subscribe button. And I'll be back with more videos, but I thought I would just check in. So have a great day, my friends, and lots of love. Peace out.